So we've been getting a lot of reports that the fight between Errol Spence and Bud, the rematch, is no longer taking place. It's completely off now. And we also been getting news that Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, that fight is on and popping. Well, according to Bud's trainer Bomac, that might just not be the case. I'm going to let y'all know what's really going down according to Bomac. We're going to talk about all that in this video, but before we do that, make sure you hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. Now, like I said in the intro, it's been a lot of reports coming out that the fight between EJ and Terence Crawford is all the way off. You had certain platforms pushing the narrative that is because EJ is not healthy and because of the surgery that he just got, right? The cataract surgery. Well, I already debunked that because it only takes 4 weeks to fully heal from a cataract surgery. Matter of fact, we already seen footage of Errol Spence back in the gym training. But see, right now, people can pretty much come out and say anything they want on Errol Spence's behalf. And I mean, you know, these media and content creators, because we don't hear anything from Errol Spence on social media. So a lot of people put out news when they haven't heard a word from EJ. Now, on the other end, you got some of these certain platforms, they're pushing Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. They telling you lies on the daily saying that Canelo Alvarez, now he has agreed to fight Terence Crawford. He'll fight Jamal Charlo in May and Terence Crawford in September. When, if you go do your research, you haven't heard anything from Canelo Alvarez either, right? So these are just made up false rumors going around because it's easy to say things about EJ and Canelo because they really don't talk to the media like that. Anytime that you hear from EJ, unless it's just something real quick on Twitter or my bad X, you don't hear from him until he has a fight coming up. The same with Canelo Alvarez. You don't hear nothing from Canelo until he has a fight coming up, and then he does his media run and he's doing all these interviews. So where are all these reports coming from? Well, they're lies. They're made up. We don't know what's going on with Canelo. We don't know what's going on with Errol Spence. But I did just listen to Bomac talk, and this is what Bomac had to say. I'll play y'all the audio and I'll come back and we're going to cook on it.
Rumors of Canelo and Crawford, you know, for September. I mean, have you heard any of that stuff? You know, Terence has tweeted about it. It's the biggest fight in boxing. Have you heard anything?
Never heard nothing.
So let me stop that right there real quick. So you got all these channels and y'all know what channels this coming from, right? I don't got to tell y'all. Y'all know where all this stuff coming from. Putting out videos every day talking about Canelo Alvarez has now agreed to fight Terence Crawford in September, right? All this fake news coming out, but we just heard right now from Terence Crawford's trainer, and he ain't heard anything. Wait, hold up, run that back. Bomac, Terence Crawford's trainer, ain't heard anything, but your favorite YouTube channel got all of the news about what's going on in Bud Crawford's camp and what's going on in Canelo Alvarez's camp. Telling you that Canelo has now agreed to fight Terence Crawford in September, or is now seriously considering fighting Terence Crawford in September. How the hell do they know, but Bomac don't know? That's very interesting to me. Now, I'm going to play y'all what Bomac had to say about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford rematch.
Is the Spence Crawford saga over with now, or are we still waiting for that second fight to happen?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They still got to go, got to work things out and see where they go from there.
So there y'all go once again. Bomac says, hey, the fight ain't necessarily off. They still have to work things out behind the scenes and see where they go from there. See, you got a lot of these content creators, they're pushing this Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford fight. Because, yeah, of course, that is the fight that Bud wants, because Bud wants a huge big money payday fight. He know a Canelo Alvarez fight will be the biggest fight that he can get in boxing without a shadow of a doubt, much bigger than Errol Spence, and Bud wants that fight so he can go and retire. But Errol Spence still deserves a rematch. And these certain people, they're pushing what they want to see. They're pushing their narrative and trying to count Errol Spence out. Trying to tell you all type of lies about he is injured, his eye is so messed up, he ain't gonna be ready and all of that. First off, like I told people a while back, I don't know if the people that's in charge want to put on that fight because of the money situation. But if they get past that, right, of course, they would love to put on that fight. We just don't know what the money situation is like with Amazon Prime, because PBC, they just got their new deal with Amazon Prime. How much are the people going to be willing to pay for it? When they look at the projection of the fight, what numbers do they see the rematch doing? And now on Amazon Prime, you just never know now, right? Because the rematch could be bigger than what the first fight was, depending on how they sell the fight, depending on how they promote it, the narrative behind the fight. We already have one. Now we know that Errol Spence was dealing with a lot of issues going into the fight. So that's something that you can piggyback on to sell the fans. So, man, like Bo Max said, we just don't know. But the thing is, if Errol Spence is standing 10 toes down and he's telling the people behind the scenes, Al Haymon, no, I want a rematch. One thing that we do know is that Terence Bud Crawford is not signed with the PBC and Canelo Alvarez is. So Bud Crawford can't jump over Errol Spence and get a Canelo Alvarez fight if Errol Spence is still demanding his rematch. Al Haymon don't work like that. Al Haymon work off of loyalty. And we know that Al Haymon rocks with EJ heavy. And EJ has been one of the fighters on the PBC that's always been able to get what he's asked for. So he's not going to betray Errol Spence for Terence Crawford, somebody that's not even signed with him. And that's just the reality. You feel me? So y'all can stop with this Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all might not know, or a lot of y'all acting like y'all don't know. Canelo Alvarez still have 2 fights with the PBC. Now, if Canelo leaves the PBC after those 2 fights, who he gonna sign with? Is he gonna do his own thing? But Bud ain't got that long to wait. Bud is already 36, 37 years old. He ain't got that long to wait. He's trying to get in and get out fast like a bank robbery. So that Canelo stuff, man, y'all can leave that alone if Errol Spence have any say-so with that. So this is all up to what Spence wants at the end of the day. Because they signed that contract, and in that contract, it says he gets a rematch. Yeah, he can't help what happened with Showtime and PBC having to go to Amazon Prime. He can't help that. But I still want to see the rematch. I'm not interested in Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, because Canelo Alvarez, he needs to fight David Benavidez. So instead of pushing this Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez shit, why don't y'all push Canelo to fight Benavidez? Because see, what y'all doing is y'all continue to give Canelo a way out when he need to be fighting David Benavidez, and Terence Crawford, he need to be giving Errol Spence his rematch. Straight like that. Anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit my like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed. And y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.